Joshua, Diego's coach. I've heard many people call him a guru. I don't know. I came from gyms. Sometimes they were called professors. Sometimes they were called senseis. I called everybody coach. I don't know if guru is the word that he uses or if that is meant as an insult. And it would be very hard to know because everything that I've seen on Josh, it was like a Barry Josh session. And I got to share with you, I don't know him. But I know a lot of people that know him. Josh went to school here in Oregon. He grew up with the Henry boys, Sean Finicum, Jeremy Wilson. I was teammates with all these guys. I've known these guys 30 years. I've never met Joshua. I also didn't know Joshua even grew up in Oregon. I caught an interview that he was doing over the weekend. I started on one. You know how that works? You click on something. But then when that's done, it takes you to another one, and it takes you to another one. Before I knew it, I had done like an hour, 45 minutes to an hour on Joshua. But I found him to be a very interesting character. When he would speak, the confidence that he would have, particularly in some of the situations that he was in, where I don't know that many people would feel confident face-to-face on the streets with Matt Serra, by example. I don't know that a lot of people would have a big range of confidence. I found there was something very compelling about him. There really was the way that he spoke, and I came to a little different conclusion than most other people did. I thought he was an entertaining guy, and some of where he got a bad rap had to do with, is he qualified to be a trainer? And he answered that question. He was talking with Luke Thomas. And Luke said, well, let me just ask you plainly. If somebody said, what qualifications do you have to be a head corner man in the UFC? What would you say? And Joshua, a lot of people didn't like this answer. But I got it myself. He said, I didn't know there was qualifications. And then he went from there, and he had a little bit of a hostile tone. I knew he realized he was on the defense. He realized he was doing an interview where he now needs to be defensive. I don't have a huge problem with that answer anywhere in this sport. Anywhere. I think Ariel Helwani is as good of a guy as you're ever going to see on camera speaking about this sport. And I know that over times of his life, people have pushed back and said, well, what do you know? You've never done it. I don't know that I see it that way. But the best wrestling coach I've ever met is a man named Roy Pittman, who's produced an Olympian or an Olympic alternate on every team since 1988. He never wrestled. Not one match. Was never trained in it. His greatest rival for success, another coach in this area that was having Division I All-Americans, having junior national champions, having world and Olympic team representatives, never wrestled. Just loved it, got immersed in it, understood communication with kids, understood motivation, learned the basics of positioning and technique. So I don't know how much my life buys into the idea that you had to do something to go out and do something else. I only bring that to you because I thought he got a little bit of a bad rap, and I thought he was interesting. I liked the whole thing. Did you see where he walked into the UFC room? I loved what Paul Felder said back. I fell down laughing. Joshua gives his entire speech, and Felder looks up and goes, I don't know what you're talking about. But it was just this funny moment. And then I could hear Megan in the background, and Megan's going, hey, I'm not crazy about the idea that you're the one filming this, which I didn't know. If Megan hadn't revealed that, I wanted to know that. I assumed it was the UFC cameras. So there's this whole story unfolding. And I'm not sure that the story has a hero, but I'm not sure that it has a villain. I don't know enough. I called and talked to Diego just yesterday, Diego and Joshua. I had sent Joshua a text message. He said, hey, I don't think this is Chael. So if you're really Chael, prove it. So I pushed the FaceTime. Well, they're in a car together. I'm talking to both of them. Had a real nice conversation. I must tell you, I had a very nice conversation. Diego was doing great. Diego was happy. He was in good spirits. And I don't know where the world of MMA goes between Joshua and Diego. I would have to assume it goes nowhere. I don't believe that Diego is going to go get signed and go get picked up by somebody else. I think likely his time in MMA is done. There's a part of me that hopes it is. I've traveled the road with Diego. I've been on cards with Diego. I've spent a lot of time around Diego. He's a really nice guy. You guys would like him. He's a really nice guy. But he believes in some stuff that a lot of other guys don't believe in. Energy, by example. Meditation and the mental side and focus, by example. But Diego's also reached a level of success that many other guys haven't. So I don't submit for you or suggest for you that that's wrong or even abnormal. It's just not what most guys are doing. So what? I don't see where the insult is. And if Diego and Joshua aren't going to do MMA anymore, just by example, then I don't know what the big deal is that we come in and break these two up. Look, it didn't work for the organization. Dan Hardy was in a very similar situation where he had spoke to a commentator team or something like this, but it wasn't in a polite way. I mean, Dana's very consistent. He looks after his own. You come in, you're working with my people. There's a way that you're going to behave, and if you make them uncomfortable, I can't bring you back in that situation. That's very consistent, Dana White. It wasn't something personal against Diego, and I don't know how much I believe that it was personal against Joshua. Joshua's looking at it. He was kind of new to his space. He gets wrapped up, and now he's with one of the top fighters in marquee spots, and he wants to defend his guy. What part about that is bad? If Joshua's such a rotten con man, how do you guys know that he doesn't have credentials in MMA? Do you see where those doesn't work together? If he's a rotten con man that doesn't have credentials, you wouldn't know it because he would have conned you and lied and said that he did. We only know that he doesn't have credentials because he told the truth, which is not what a con man does. I think he's getting a bad rap. How do you like that? I think he's getting a bad rap. Is that because it turns out that he grew up 40 miles from me and we have some of the same friends? Maybe. Maybe it does. I'm not acting like he's Mr. Innocent in his whole thing. He came into the room, he documented, he put it on video. There's just some stuff that you just don't do. There are some private moments. There's not saying dust it under the rug and nothing happened here. But I don't think villainizing a guy who's working hard, putting a lot of time in, and is publicly defending his athlete, I don't know. I'm 45 minutes into the guy. I got to tell you. And maybe I saw 45 minutes of the wrong videos. But my opinion and my interpretation, I don't come with the same vitriol that many others do.